What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What's going up, dude?
What is going up, my guy? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen. And it is good to be over and done with another Monday, because now we can talk about what Mondays are actually for. And that's video games.
I'm
doing well.
True.
I'm doing well.
True. Glad you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a busy week. We're here. Feels good to be here. Tired, a little tired, but glad to be here and doing another show. Man, how did you do anything exciting over the weekend? Did you get to play any games? You don't have to tell me about the games, obviously, because that'll be later in the show.
That's later, yeah. Had a Friendsgiving for, this was the weekend for it. Had a pretty fun little kickback, brought some food, had some laughs, and just enjoyed each other's company. And then celebrated my grandparents' 64th wedding anniversary.
Wow, congrats to them.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That's amazing.
Long time. 2 of my lifetimes, quite literally.
Yeah, that's actually
just about
insane. Friendsgivings are always fun.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of those through the years, like different times when we were living like further from family, and I don't know. I don't get me wrong. Thanksgiving with family is amazing, especially when it's family you haven't seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's just always something like
it's a different energy with friends.
There's a different energy. There's moments where I'm like, oh, this is a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy it. So
yeah.
I feel like I almost enjoy it more.
I can agree with that. Because it's people your age, people your same interests, right? Like you're more comfortable talking to your friends than, family you haven't seen or extended family you haven't seen for a while. You don't have to worry about somebody saying something crazy. It's just works out great.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like family holidays are great too.
No,
especially again, like
right.
when it's been years and it's like, oh man, I can't wait to have Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, like with family. But I don't know. Yeah, it's fun to just be like hanging out with friends and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. I think we might be doing I don't even know what we're doing for Thanksgiving this year because Trudy's parents are going to be gone. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I've talked about it on the show a few times, but we live with my in-laws and then also in the apartment connected to our place is my wife's brother and sister-in-law. So it's like family. We've got plenty of family here, but the parents are going to be gone. They're like going on a trip. They're going to be out of the country for something. And then, other family, brother and sister-in-law are going to be busy that day. So me and Trudy are just like, what are we doing? What are we going to do? All right, maybe we need to find some friends to do a Friendsgiving with or something. So
quite literally
might be a Friendsgiving year this year, which again, could be good. It's hard to believe that's next week as well. Like that blew my mind,
dude.
When I realized that, really just like, it was just like a few days ago, it was like last Friday or something. Cause it was something with work. I was talking to someone, and I was like, hey, like we need to do this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to be getting this done. And then they're like, oh, well, like Thanksgiving is
right.
2 weeks.
We can't do that next Thursday.
What?
Why?
Are you kidding?
Because it's Thanksgiving.
Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean it's Thanksgiving next Thursday?
Crazy. This year's flown by.
It'll be Christmas before you know. It'll be New Year's before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely insane. But here we are. We're making it. We're surviving. And hopefully, another. It'll be interesting to see what the New Year's like. But we have a couple months before we have to worry about that. But right now, all we talk about is what we're talking about tonight on the show. Today, we're going to be talking all about Xbox. That's right. There was not a lot going on this week. So it's the Xbox Rock Block.
Xbox show.
We're going to talk about how they're still looking for more acquisitions. all these studios. It's not enough. It's never enough. It's like an addiction. They have plans.
It's a shopping spree for them. I think I'll go buy a studio.
Retail therapy. Keep putting out mediocre games. They just got to keep buying new studios to make them feel alive, you know? They have plans for a handheld console and sorry, I said that completely. Oh, it's already starting. I can't talk.
No, come on.
And Avowed, that's how you say it, and Avowed perpetuates an annoying trend in pre-ordering games. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumble Smash and Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mayer, Carrie, and David Matthews. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 a month gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, access to Patreon exclusive shows such as Super Later Boys, previous seasons of Super Gamer Book Club, and a few other perks depending on what level you support us at. So we'll talk more about that later on in the show during our Patreon ad. But for now, I want to give a big ol' shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show tonight. We are listening to Jack Sriracha and Yate, that playlist. It's a good one. I think actually the song I was playing right now is a new one. Omelette du fromage. Whenever I hear that, I just think of Dexter's Lab.
That's why. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, that's what I assumed.
A classic episode.
Yeah, so thank you so much for allowing us to use your music. You should go check out their tunes by clicking on the links in the description. Check them out on Apple Music, Spotify, and show them some love, show them some support. All right, Adrian, it's now time to check the mail.
If by check the mail, you mean check the one letter from Ranger that we got, then let's go ahead and check that. Because all these other bums didn't send us nothing again for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
So we got no option. Not that Ranger is an option. He's not. But
poor Ranger.
I don't mean to frame it like that. It just came off sounding like that. I'm just saying I know. Ranger is the only one that actually took time to write something in. Yeah. And now he's got the spotlight. So you guys could have had it.
Should we just change the segment name from mailbag to obviously
Rangers Ramblings?
Yeah, Rangers Ramblings or Rangers Rants or something like that. It's just a letter from him each week because he's consistent. I don't think he's missed a week, honestly.
He's more, and that's the one thing I will never take from him. He is way more consistent than any of these other bums. Any of them. He is shown up. Wow. And he comes with a meaty question every time.
Well,
a meaty statement, a meaty letter that has a question in it. So more than I can say for others. I have to beat them up because otherwise they're not going to do anything. Sorry. They're not going to respond. Down. I have to. That's the only way they respond. They only respond to violence. When we ask them and tell them, when we tell them, hey, why don't you leave a letter? Or leave a question. What happens? Crickets. But if I threaten to give you a good one right in the gut, what happens? 3-4 questions come in. I'm telling you, it works every time. Watch. As soon as this episode goes up, you're gonna see questions in there in the mailbag. Trust me.
No, it's true, unfortunately, but it's just so hilarious. Like we have to threaten our listeners within an inch of their life before they finally
look. It's not something that I want to do. Okay, I don't ever want to have to threaten to chop you, but you know what I mean. These flies get caught with vinegar.
All right. Well, here's that letter from Ranger. I guess before we get into that, I can say, write in your questions. supergamerboys.com/Discord. Join our Discord. It's free. You can write in questions over there. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way, just like Ranger does, over at supergamerboys.com and click the Contact Us tab. Write in that little form submission. You're off to the races.
Contact us like we're a business.
Not like it costs us money every time someone uses a form submission. No big deal. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't know if it does. I should look into that. Rangers cost us hundreds of dollars in form submissions. No. All right. Here's a letter from Ranger. All right, you pudding hands podcasters, here we go. Ranger finds it fascinating.
I appreciate the callback.
Yeah, I also appreciate that he talks about himself in the third person. Ranger.
So he really okay. He does. We confirm this now. Remember, I had asked this before. I was like, is he talking in the third person? No, he is. He actually is.
Yep. Ranger finds it fascinating that Garrett cannot resist the urge to constantly cast Ranger ribbings upon me for being so dedicated to the form of submission. Listen, I'm here to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm here to be a voice for the voiceless while simultaneously marinating both of you with juicy nuggets of penetrating thoughts and queries.
Relax.
Right. You just never know where we'll end up. I had to make a pit stop at Wendy's, and as I gazed upon the Coca-Cola Freestyle touchscreen soda machine, I looked for the mythical camera some believe are attached to these machines, scanning facial recognition and tracking moods as beverages are dispensed. Am I angry or happy? Coca-Cola wants to know. It kind of makes me think, do you drink differently if... Well, it says, do you drink differently if I'm angry? I think it's supposed to say if you're angry. Oh, no, I see. I read it wrong. Do I drink differently if I'm angry? So here's a question of the week. What are your top 3 preferred beverages at these 100+ drink machines? Do you drink differently based on mood? There's a question. P.S. Dragon Age the Veilguard is an interesting mix of the God of War reboot, environments and combat, Guardians of the Galaxy with peppered doses of Diablo, Mass Effect, etc. Have you boys dabbled just yet?
So it's everything?
It basically is everything. PPS Silo Season 2 hits this week on Apple TV. Let's go.
Get after it.
I'm going to be honest. Apple TV, we had it for a little bit and watched like one show off of it. What was it? It's the one with Harrison Ford and the guy from...
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the ads for this.
Friends? No.
I know what... I can't remember the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
How I Met Your Mother. The guy from How I Met Your Mother and Harrison Ford. And he's... they work at a... I don't know. My brain's broken.
You should have just left it at the Harrison Ford Apple TV show, called it a day.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've watched from Apple TV. Apple TV didn't really... a lot of things looked interesting to me, but not my wife. And when you're...
I have it because it's part of my like Apple subscription thing. So
when you're in a marriage, you can't just watch whatever you want. You have to both be on the same page most of the time.
Yikes. Sounds rough, buddy.
I just don't have the time to watch my own stuff.
That's fair.
But Dragon Age Veilguard, okay, I want to touch on that. I've only heard amazing things about it. I haven't touched it. I'll answer your question. I have not dabbled at all. But I've never played a Dragon Age game. So I'm not...
Me neither.
...really interested. Even though it looks... like nothing about it sounds bad to me. It's just like, it's a franchise I've gone this long without touching. Like, it's been around for decades, and I've just like gotten by like, okay, well, I don't know. I have enough other on my plate. But have you touched it at all? Have you watched any videos, like seen anything about it? Or?
I've seen reviews and I've seen people play live stream, and I've seen a lot of people post about it on social media, and it feels like this is more... I've seen more comparisons to something like Baldur's Gate, because I feel like it has that kind of thing, except it has, active combat, where Baldur's Gate doesn't really have that. But I think maybe it's just because of the level of customization and character interactions and things of that nature, that this is Dragon Age's Baldur's Gate 3 moment, apparently. Like, that moment where the series kind of reaches that level of notoriety, I guess would be the word, because they've always been good games apparently, but like this is the one that like is catching everybody's attention. Right, exactly. Sucking in more like a wider demographic of people than it has previously. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But back to, I guess we can get to the main question here if we want to. We have to. It's our duty to. Yeah. What are your top 3 preferred beverages at these at the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine? And then do you drink differently based on your mood? That is the question. That last question is kind of a doozy, because I've never thought about that before. Top 3 would have to be the cherry ginger ale, the Seagram's cherry ginger ale.
Oh. Yeah.
I think there's like a peach tea flavor that is really, really good. I think it's peach, if I'm not mistaken. But that's nice. It's a little bit lighter.
Okay.
And then my all-time is lime Coke. Lime Coke is so good.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know what it is, but it feels like, you know how people say, ice cold Coca-Cola is so refreshing. An ice cold Coca-Cola with a hint of lime in it, next level.
Dang. Yeah, it does sound good, actually. My number one all-time favorite soda, as you guys all know, because I've talked about this before and got a lot of hate for it, is good old... I gotta get my hat for this one.
Oh, God. You know, this question is not about those machines, those wannabe machines, by the way.
Good old Pepsi. So my favorite though is Pepsi Twist back in the day. Pepsi and lemon.
Is that the one that had the lemon in it?
Yes. Phenomenal. The best thing I've ever made. And so when I go to these freestyle machines, and you can do Coke with lemon. And so that's like my number one choice every time. Coke with lemon.
That company said, hey, you know how Pepsi sucks? What if we took it and made it bitter and put lemon straight into it? Wouldn't that be rad?
Good. Oh, I love it. You know what it's like? It's like licking a 9-volt battery, and I just love that. It makes me feel so alive.
In drink form. And people lined up and said, yep, I want this. Give it here.
My number two choice is Coke Vanilla.
Not a bad one.
Which, I mean, again, if I had the choice, I wish it was Pepsi Vanilla, but, you know, it's a Coke machine, those freestyle machines. So Coke with Vanilla is my number two. And then if I'm feeling real adventurous...
Oh, boy.
Then, no, it's not even that adventurous. I love strawberry Fanta. That's not even that crazy, but just give me a strawberry Fanta. It's so freaking good. Those are probably my three tops. I've never been super adventurous with the freestyle machine. Like those are my go-tos. Is like lemon, vanilla, strawberry. Keep it simple, you know. But I feel like I haven't gone to very many restaurants that have them. Like, what places even have these freestyle machines? Like, I feel like the only place I've ever seen one was
theaters do. Wingstop does.
Yeah, our theater doesn't have it.
Really?
And then and then I never eat at Wingstop. Oh, did I ever give you the update? I mean, this was like probably like 8 or 9 months ago now, but you made a point on an episode of how amazing Wingstop is, and I came back saying like, no, they're horrible, they're garbage, their food's terrible, and they always mess up my order. And you're like, you gotta try it again, try a different location, because it was Modesto when I had it last. So I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. I'm here in San Diego, it's probably better here, right? I tried the Wingstop here, same exact experience. Screwed up my order, and it was like the worst, the driest, nastiest chicken wings I ever had. I was so mad.
I feel like I'm going
Curse
crazy.
you, Adrian.
I've never had Wingstop that bad. Have I had some that are better than others? Sure. I have never had Wingstop that is outright garbage. Not once. It's usually the ratio of like great to okay is like easily maybe 70-30. Like there's a hot 70% chance that the Wingstop that you're gonna get is just a chef's kiss, tender, juicy, big wings, hot, fresh fries with the in-house Hidden Valley Ranch blend mix, whatever, a fat lime Coke. Oh, setting you up for success, brother. No, I can't believe that happened to you twice.
Two strikes, man. I don't know if I want to go for 3 strikes because that I don't even know what happens when 3 strikes are out with a restaurant like that. Like I feel like I need to go like vandalize a store or something. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
You know what I mean? I guess you SoCal folks just don't know how to cook a wing. Maybe that's what it is.
I guess. I mean, the other one was up in Modesto. But either way, never again. But yeah, I feel like, these freestyle machines, like trying to think, where have I ever I've rarely seen one, and when I do, it's always like a huge shock. It's like, oh my gosh, they have one. But if I ever come across one again, maybe I need to try the Coke Lime, like you said. And then I also, did Ranger even say what their favorite flavors were? They did. Man, really missed the mark, Ranger. You really missed the mark this week.
Mm-mm.
Do I drink differently based off my mood? I don't think so.
Me neither.
I don't know if I've ever like gone to a restaurant where I wasn't just hungry. Like that's my mood at the moment. Like if I go there, I'm just the one mood. I'm not happy or angry. I'm just hungry. You know, that's my mind's just focused on food. And then while I'm eating the food, I might jump back to like, oh, I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm happy, I'm whatever. But in the moment, it's just like, all right, food time, check out. My brain turns off and I just need to go find food until it turns back on. So yeah, not hard. But have you ever heard, he mentions a mythical, he mentions a camera. It's like an urban legend that there's a camera in
I've never heard about this.
Me neither. I
that
almost
they're watching you through the machine.
I almost want to look this up because that sounds wild. I've never heard that before either.
It sounds like those kinds of rumors that the people who think birds are fake would like take and run with.
I mean, they are, but that's fine.
Speak of the devil. There you go.
They have a freestyle machine at the casino near me. I can go to.
Maybe you should pop down and see.
It's just 1.5 miles away. Let's go over to the casino and get myself a Coca-Cola freestyle, maybe.
Right. And then you get addicted. This guy comes in here and he never gambles. He just gets a soda from the soda machine and then leaves.
No, I treat it as if it's like a slot machine. Like I just hit
Come
the random.
Baby,
hit
Daddy
random.
needs a new strawberry Dr. Pepper.
Hit random and see what I get. Like, that's my form of gambling. Is going in there just hitting like choose for me and see what pops out until I get to something I want. Dang it! I got
Pineapple Sprite again.
Pineapple Sprite again. Dang it. Let's see. Subway, Jack in the Box. That's pretty much it around me. Is Jack in the Box, a Subway. Interesting. Oh no, there's a Wingstop.
Yes.
Never eating there.
Vindication is coming.
Should I try them one more time? I feel like I need to like live stream it or something. Like one final try. I need to live stream it so you guys can all see I'm not crazy.
Third time's the charm. They didn't make that saying up for no reason.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. Well, thanks for that letter, Ranger. I appreciate it. Sorry we give you so much crap, but you do use the form submission, so you kind of ask.
You do. You're true blue. We appreciate that.
All right. Should we get into these news stories?
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe. All right. How do I normally say this? Oh yeah. I'm blanking on how the show works.
I'm queued up. Let's do it.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Fantastic. All right, here we are with our news stories. This first one comes to us from Bloomberg by Dina Bass. Microsoft's gaming chief is still open to acquisitions after Activision deal. After a tough year, Microsoft Corp's video gaming chief is still looking at acquisitions and charting how to compete and partner in the markets for handheld game devices and mobile stores. Deals that add geographic diversity, including in Asia, might be worthwhile, Phil Spencer said in an interview Tuesday at Bloomberg's offices in New York. Hey, Xbox, you had a studio over there, and then you shut it down.
Good job.
Buying another mobile company would add to titles Microsoft picked up in its $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year, he said. We definitely want to be in the market. And when we can find teams and technology and capability that add to what we're trying to do in gaming at Microsoft, absolutely, we will keep our heads up, Spencer said. Still, there's nothing imminent, and very large deals are probably off the table at present as the company is spending a lot of time absorbing Activision Blizzard employees, he said. He says absorbing. I think they mean laying off. Is that what he meant to say?
That's what it sounds. That's what I heard. in the midst of that corporate speak, but you know.
Absorbing employee. What are you talking about? You're laying a bunch of people off. Microsoft wants to diversify the teams working on games by looking more at China, he said. The company developed a new mobile version of Age of Empires, a world-building franchise that first appeared in the 1990s. By partnering with Tencent Holdings Limited, Microsoft and Tencent released the game globally in October. It blows my mind that they have to explain what Age of Empires is, as if everyone in the world didn't that doesn't know what it is.
Everyone in the world doesn't. There are kids who have been born who don't know what that is.
I know, but that's
they've been born after that. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's what's sad is like all these young kids are just like, what's an Age of Empires? Is that iPad game? And then that's when I jump off a bridge.
Full speed, doing a flip.
It's been a good area for us to learn from creative teams that have real unique capabilities, Spencer said. The real opportunity is to partner with creative teams in China for global. The executive, who has repeatedly professed his admiration for handheld gaming devices, said the expectation is that we would do something in that category, although the blah, blah, blah. That's getting into the next news story, so I'm not going to talk about that. But the main thing is, spoilers. The main thing I want to talk about, though, is that they're even still open to acquisitions. That just seems absolutely bonkers wild. Right? Like, I'm sharing my opinion first before I'm asking you, but that's basically it. It just, to me, doesn't it seem crazy to just, because they keep buying all these studios and spending all this money, and it's not giving them better games. It's still giving them like mediocre games, which is sad because a lot of these studios were known for incredible games, but under Microsoft's umbrella, they're not. I don't know. Right?
I was going to say the same thing. I'm like, Microsoft is doing everything they can except hunkering down and making better games. Everything else. They got this is your Xbox campaign going out. We're like, everything is your Xbox. Everything is your Xbox. Your phone is your Xbox. Your TV is your Xbox. And I would say the same thing to Phil. Okay, it's my Xbox to play what on?
Right. All the wonderful third-party games. But
right, that I can't, what to play what on that I can't play anywhere else? Exactly. Why would I invest in the Xbox ecosystem? There's nothing to play from you.
Starfield, which was okay. Or you could play Hellblade 2, which was
okay. You could play the medium. Oh, no, that was okay.
Which was bad.
You could play Halo.
That was just bad. Halo, which was okay.
Well, Halo was all right.
Yeah.
What else? You could play. Did anything else come out this gen?
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but that's the thing. Like, it's not even coming to mind because everything is just okay. Like, nothing they've put out has been like earth-shattering, groundbreaking.
Right.
In my opinion. Obviously, everyone's opinion's going to be different. But I held on to Game Pass for so long, holding out hope. Like, it's just going to be one. It's going to be a banger. And there just wasn't. There was fun experiences, for a little bit, but nothing that just like blew my mind,
Right.
So I don't know. It just seems wild that that's what they're striving for at this point. And I mean, he does say like there's nothing in the works. Granted, he could be lying too. Like he could just say that, and then 8 months from now,
Show
like,
up.
oh, the announcement comes out.
Actually,
we just bought EA or something.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, wait, I thought you said just 7-8 months ago that there wasn't anything in the works. Oh well. But to me, like that wouldn't be the focus. Like, stop buying studios. Like, they have such an insane amount of studios. Like, I was looking at a list and it's kind of bonkers crazy. Like the amount of studios they currently own right now. And so many of them either, very few of them are really working on things, honestly. Like, there's a lot of like there's a few projects going on, but a lot of the other studios are just kind of turned into like support studios, like they're just like supporting other studios. And it's like, man, some of these studios are known for some good stuff. And now they're just becoming like a support studio to put out the next Call of Duty or whatever, or whatever it is.
Dude, it's so like, it's so upsetting that Microsoft, like you said, has all these different like flavors of game studios, sizes, genre specialties, and somehow when all these studios get to Xbox, they all of a sudden just turn mid. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, you could have made a great game beforehand, but when you come to Xbox and you link into that ecosystem, something happens with that where it's just like the quality of the game just goes down. And I think it's Phil being too hands off with his approach to leadership, you know, of being like, we just let the studios do what they want and then we'll check in from time to time. No, good buddy. You have to rein them in, unfortunately, with creatives. As much as you want them to be creative, which is definitely a desire, you have to balance that with the economics of game development, right? Like making sure people are getting rest. You know, make sure that there's adequate food and adequate food sources and restroom. You know what I mean? There's like things you have to figure out with that. And it's just like, I don't know. Not looking good. Not looking good.
No. Yeah. I don't know. Don't know what they're hoping for, but it just, I don't know if that's, I just don't see what direction they could possibly be heading other than, you know, I mean, with their, like you said, yeah, you brought up their new ad campaign. Like it's, they very obviously want to lean more towards being a service than they are consoles. And I mean, he said in the interview, they said in the interview, we're not going to stop making consoles, and we're even looking at making a handheld, but it's very obvious, like, okay, yeah, but you want to be known for your service, for Game Pass, for being able to play anywhere, which is great, right. But yeah, again, like, give us a reason to come there besides just third-party games, because don't get me wrong, $10 a month for the vast library of third-party games is still a good deal, but it also just seems like a pain when I could just purchase some
buy the game
and not have to, you know, have one more subscription I have to worry about, or one more console I have to buy, or one more whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's nice to have simplicity, you know, keep it simple. So if you want me to stick to Xbox, give me some dang good stuff to play on Xbox, and then maybe I'll make the jump or make an exception and be like, okay, that's okay to have a console or the extra subscription because it's, you know, absolutely worth it. I don't know. We'll see. I just thought that was interesting news that's even still on the table. Like, just the dust is barely settled from Activision Blizzard, and they're like,
and they're already like, okay, that's old news. Let's get another one.
Yeah, they got their antennas up. Like, all right, anyone else looking to sell? Anyone else looking? Maybe.
You know how bad they probably want Sega. They probably want Sega so bad, dude. They ain't gonna get it because Sega will never sell to them. But just the fact, like, they would. I feel like if I were able to find a way to get Sega, that would be like a career moment. You know, not only did you get the Activision one, which is also a career moment for him, but like to double right back after it and get this other legendary studio, right? This other legendary publisher of Sega. Crazy. That'd be nuts.
But time will tell. We'll have to wait and see what their next acquisition is. I hope they hold off. I hope they just don't push too hard on it, but we'll see. Time will tell. This next news story comes to us from IGN, written by Wesley Yinpool. Microsoft confirms plans to release an Xbox handheld, but it's years away. Microsoft gaming boss Phil Spencer has confirmed the company's plan to release an Xbox handheld, but stressed it's years away from release. In an interview with Bloomberg, Spencer said the expectation is that we would do something in the handheld game device category, but such a device is a few years out. Microsoft Spencer said is currently working on prototypes and considering what it might do, with its team developing its vision for a handheld based on what it learns from looking at the market. In the shorter term, Microsoft will focus on improving the Xbox app so it works better on existing handheld gaming devices, Spencer added. Ooh, I hope that means Steam Deck finally gets an app, because right now they don't. And that was one of the other reasons I canceled my Game Pass, because I'm like, all right, like, I'm not on my computer as much, and you can't do it on Steam Deck, so that would be sick.
What do you think the holdup is? Because I feel like it's not Valve, right? Because Valve is like, yo, you want to be on Steam Deck OS or you want to be on this? Just fine, go ahead and let us know and we'll put you on there. You know what I mean? So if everything is an Xbox,
I think it's because
what's the holdup?
it's the operating system, I think. Obviously, a lot of these games are able to be run on a Linux base, but not all of them. And so I think that's the problem, because like basically when I install a game on my Steam Deck, it'll install the game, download the game, but then it'll install, I forget what they're called. I'm like blanking on the name of it, but it installs like that's basically what it is, what it comes down to. But they have a different name for it in the Linux, it's Valve operating system lingo. But it downloads these other things to basically translate this installation file to play properly on the Linux. Of course, I can't think of the words. Everything. If you know, write it in the comments. I'm blanking on it now. But yeah. So basically, my thought is like, but not every game has one of those available, to basically translate it from Windows or standard executable file to work on a Linux-based system. And so that's what I'm wondering is what's holding them up, is like, all right, if there's games on our library that aren't compatible, all right, then we got to limit the library. But their whole marketing is these games, they want all these games available everywhere. So to be like, oh, sorry, Steam Deck users, you're being hamstrung this way. I think that's what's holding them up. But obviously, like, it just means I don't know. There's workarounds. There's a way they could figure that out. It's just, I don't know why it's
correct me if I'm wrong,
but
the Steam Deck was in that commercial, right? Where they were like, this is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. Wasn't the Steam Deck one of the devices that they showed? They were like, this is an Xbox.
No, I think it was an ROG Ally.
Oh, okay.
Which runs Windows. So that's why you can have Game Pass on there, because it's just a mini Windows version. But anyways, longer term, I love us building devices, Spencer said, and I think our team could do some real innovative work, but we want to be informed by learning what's happening now. AKA, don't make a PlayStation Portal. Like, if they make a PlayStation Portal,
please don't.
I would boycott Xbox for the rest of my life.
That space already exists, and the 13 people that have one already got it.
Like, nobody else is getting it. Imagine if they came out with like their own version of an Xbox like Portal, essentially. Let's just call it that, where it just streams. Like, you have to be connected to the internet, and it just streams Game Pass. Like, so you don't. Like, the only reason it's a little better is because, like, with a Portal, you have to own a PS5. What would be nice if like okay, if Xbox could get away from that and just, okay, it's streaming over the internet, that would be a little nicer, because then it's not like communicating with a console somewhere else. But still, like, that would be so infuriating. Like, no, give me an actual console. We don't want to stream things anymore. No one, like, it's nice for when you need it, but 9 times out of 10, I don't want to be streaming things,
Right.
Spencer has made no secret of his desire to enter the handheld console market with Xbox hardware, and practically confirmed the plan to IGN back in June following the 2024 Xbox Game Showcase. The future for us in hardware is pretty awesome, Spencer said at the time. The work that the team is doing around different form factors, different ways to play, I'm incredibly excited about. Today was about the games, but we will have a time to come out and talk more about platform, and we can't wait to bring it to you. When asked if a hypothetical Xbox handheld would be a dedicated gaming platform where you can play the games locally, like a Steam Deck or Nintendo Switch, or a cloud-based handheld, Spencer responded, I think being able to play games locally is really important. There we go. All right. He said it. Not that he hasn't lied in the past, but we have it in writing. He at least wants it to play games natively.
Just like he said that they really believe in the Xbox consoles, and then a few short months later made an ad where now everything is your Xbox instead of your Xbox, so you don't have to buy an Xbox.
And they also promised that there's a long list of Xbox exclusive games that were just going to be on Xbox, and then a couple months later
now they're all on PlayStation or coming to PlayStation.
Indiana Jones
could be day and date, and we don't know. I'd be so pissed. I'm already. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I'm already like, I already have a chip on my shoulder from before. I bought the Xbox One X because Microsoft was pushing the big thing about like, oh, we're doing an update in a version of Minecraft that's only going to be able to run on the Xbox One X, and it's going to have like it's going to run at like super crazy resolution, and it's going to have all these extra visual effects, and the draw distance is going to be way better. It's like having mods on, but it's the official. So I'm like, oh, this looks sick. And I bought a 1X, and they ended up canceling it because they couldn't figure out how to get some crucial thing to run on there. So I went and I bought the whole thing thinking, oh, perfect. By the time, I'll have this now, I can play some games on it. And then by the time, Minecraft comes out, cool, I'll be ready to go. And then it gets canceled. And now I'm left holding the bag with this console that I bought for one game that I will never get to play. Pissed.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the 1X was a rough generation as well.
But man, that was some of the Xbox has such good console design. 360 banger, Xbox One S and One X bangers, Xbox Series X bangers. They know how to design a console, except for that first Xbox One. All the rest of them, fantastic designs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if I've ever even seen an Xbox One, like any of them, like One, 1S, 1X. Like,
really?
I don't know if I've ever seen one in person. Like I've seen pictures of it online, but I've never so I have no
not
sense
in a
of
store
scale.
kiosk or something.
No, I don't think so. So I don't have any sense of scale of like how big or small like they even are. But so I've seen the design of it, obviously, but I don't know. It's very different. Like even the PS5 looks one way in a picture, then you see it on a freaking table. And you're like, oh my gosh, this thing is so big.
Massive.
Like, why is it so big? But yeah, I totally skipped that generation. I just went went back to my PlayStation roots, stuck with it. Soak7 plays in the chat says, if you've ever owned a VCR, you've seen one. All right. Yep. I know exactly what it looks like now.
And then they got over themselves. Yeah, they got over themselves and then made the Xbox One S, which is what the Xbox One should have been the whole time. Just like how DS and DS Lite, because the original DS is hideous. And then they came out with the DS Lite, which like literally fixed every problem the original DS had. That's what the that's what the Xbox One S is to the original Xbox One. It is just night and day difference. Night and day.
Dang. Crazy. But yeah, as far as a handheld, I mean they mention it here. He's hoping he thinks playing games locally is really important. It says that and from the interview. So I hope it really is. Like again, since I have a Steam Deck, I don't see myself picking one of these up. My hope is that if they stick true to what they're saying and everything's apparently an Xbox, I hope there's an Xbox app coming to Steam Deck soon where I can play games natively, locally, not having to stream things. But if not, I mean, I think it's just cool to have options, even though I probably won't buy one.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's just so neat to like allow more people to play games in ways that are just easier for whatever their situation is, because maybe not everyone, obviously at this point, like everything is an Xbox, but a lot of those, okay, you got to have a nice PC or you have to have an Xbox. Or you have to have good internet if you want to stream it on your phone or something. So it's like a handheld is like, all right, it's the portability of the phone, but not having to maybe spend as much as like on a console. Like usually it's going to be a little bit cheaper than a full-on console. So like, man, it'd be like a nice little niche they're like kind of missing out on right now. So be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet to see. But in the meantime, gotta go without. Not that you're missing out on anything. So
we'll figure it out.
All right. This last news story comes to us from Brendan Hess over at GameSpot. Avowed Steelbook Premium Edition is up for pre-order. Comes with 5-day early access. I don't need to go too much into this. This isn't an article.
You don't have to read the whole.
Se.
I could tell you right now. We could just talk about it right here. This sucks. Stop doing this.
Okay, yeah, let me get some context though. So what do we want to stop doing? We'll give the context. 2024 is stacked with awesome RPGs of all flavors, and 2025 looks to be starting out strong with Avowed. which launches on Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Game Pass on February 18th. This first-person fantasy RPG comes from Obsidian, the legendary developer behind its hits like Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds, Pentiment, and more. While there are a few more months left until this game arrives, pre-orders are now available for multiple editions of Avowed, some of which even grant you early access to the game along with a bunch of bonus content, though physical collectors may find the options to be a bit lacking. While multiple editions of Avowed come with exclusive content, the only true pre-order bonus available for the game is a 5-day early access to the full game when you purchase the digital premium or Steelbook premium editions before launch. The Avowed early access period begins on February 13th. So let me break that down real quick. So there's the standard version, right? Okay. And it's probably going to be, it doesn't say here, but it's probably going to be like $70, right? Typically, that's how it works. Yeah, digital standard edition. Yep. And then
no disc.
No disc. $70 digital standard edition. It doesn't even mention a disc version. I think everything it's only digital. This game is an only digital game. So digital standard edition, $70. Okay, yeah, all games are $70 now. That's whatever. But then there's digital premium, which and the Steelbook premium, it says physical, but it's not. You get a Steelbook and then it just has a code inside. So, and it's $95. So basically the digital premium and Steelbook premium are exactly the same. You're just paying $5 for a physical case with nothing in it. Here's the deal though. Here's what really grinds my gears, 70, that's $20 or $25 if you're buying the Steelbook Premium Edition. $25 for you to get 5-day early access. I'm seeing here there's a couple more things. You can get a letter from the developer.
Nice, but still not
worth $25.
Right.
An illustrated map of the living lands. Okay, you get a cheap poster.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it an actual good quality map? Doesn't sound like it.
No. This is only with the Steelbook edition, obviously. So if you just buy digital premium, $90, all you get is the 5-day early access and probably the digital art book and digital soundtrack, which is okay, that's insane. But so the Steelbook edition is $95 and you get digital art book, digital soundtrack, a cheap poster of the map, and then you do get, it says premium companion cosmetics. But most of the time those things you use it for 5 minutes and then it's you find something that's better in the game.
Right.
For that. So here's what we want to talk about. This is something that needs to stop in gaming, is charging people $25 to play your game 5 days early. This is what
it makes no sense.
It took a while for us to get there, but it's because I wanted to really set it up. I really wanted to get you give you guys the full picture, so that way it's not just us complaining for 20 minutes, because it could have been that. Instead, I wanted to lay it all out. That people are actually probably, most likely, unfortunately, I don't know what drives people to do this. They're gonna spend $90 or $95 just to play this game a few days early. It's not a multiplayer game, right? So it's not like you're leveling up for PvP or anything. There's no
right.
It's just I don't know. It just seems insane. You can't wait 5 days. You can't wait a week. You can't wait a week to play this game.
It's that FOMO, dude. It's a killer.
So bad. You'll spend $25 just to play it 5 days early.
So many people are so scared of not. And the crazy part about it though, Garrett, is it's a single player game. You don't get advantage of playing these kinds of games early, right? Like a multiplayer one. Oh, I can kind of learn the maps before everybody else gets on. I can learn, get the high ground or all that, whatever. I get to practice movement, or I get to practice my technique before people actually start getting on and getting good. This is a single player game where we're all going to be doing the same thing. Why do you have to have extra time and do the same thing I'm going to do? It doesn't there's no advantage there. I mean, I guess if you want to play it early, but also you could have took that $25 that you were going to spend. You could have bought a pizza. You could have bought some Mountain Dew. You could have had them ready to go by your side when the game comes out. You know what I mean? Have a complete deluxe little gamer package area. It's not worth it. No. And I wish companies would stop doing this. I was telling you before the show, I said, I wish that companies, instead of doing this, if they knew that they were withholding a game for 5 days so that people can play it early, why not just be cool actually and tell people, you know what? We know we had this release date, but it's been finished for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and push it up. Now it's coming out 5 days early. Internet's going to go nuts. It's going to be all over social media about, dude, these guys, they said they were coming out next week, but they're coming out today. You know what I mean? That would have ripped. Social media would have caught on fire, and then people who don't even really know or like weren't even interested in whatever this was, not just Avowed, but like games that do this, they get that boost of like, oh, people are really stoked about whatever this is coming earlier than they thought. There must be something to it if people are this excited to get it early, right? You know, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's scummy. I don't like it, and I wish it would stop. It doesn't really, I'm sure it serves their wallet a purpose, but like not in the goodwill sense to your audience. So
no, it makes them a bunch of money. And ultimately it's just like, I don't know. You put it perfectly. It's scummy because it's like, all right, the game's done. Like you're literally holding it for longer just to be able to make this extra money. And Microsoft isn't the only studio that people who are doing this. Like so many games do it. Almost every game does it now. I feel like so many of them do. Like, I mean, even Space Marine, Warhammer Space Marine 2. And I'll admit, I bought the higher version, but not to play it early. I bought it because it came with a season pass and I got a discount. I had a discount code. So I actually got it for like the same price as a standard game. So for me, in the end is like, but that also allowed you to play 5 days early. I only bought it the day before, so I only got it for 1 day early, I guess, if you can even count it that, because I didn't even have time to play it. But yeah, so it's like, why? I just hate it. I hate that that's the state we live in, where it's like, oh, we're going to intentionally just hold back the game because we know we can make an extra buck here. But that's the argument with a lot of DLC these days is when people are like selling skins and stuff later, or they're selling like missions, or I don't know, whatever, like so much DLC is like, oh, wait a second, this is stuff like this could have been stuff that was just in the game, but you deliberately held it to make extra money.
Right.
I don't know. If it's something that comes out like a few months later or like a year later, like at that point it's like, okay, obviously this was still in development, so okay, I can forgive that makes sense. But there's some games where it's like the game comes out and within like a month it's like, here's some new DLC or something. It's like, wait a second.
What about the main game? Did we finish that? What?
That's when it's
where
like,
are we going with
hang on,
this? Hold
up, that was awfully quick turnaround for DLC.
Right.
This obviously was in the can for a little bit here. Wild. Absolutely wild. So that's all. Just a PSA. Don't spend $90 on Avowed Premium Edition.
Or any game that makes you allows you to play it early. Just wait. Just wait. You'll be fine.
You can save
There's always something else to play.
Save the $25 and like Adrian said, go buy yourself a pizza and a Mountain Dew and just
sit on down and enjoy yourself.
Have a good night. Have a fun Friday night. Sounds good to me. All right. Well, that is it for the Nerdy Nudes. Now it's time for a Patreon ad.
Do it.
All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com.
Why does this that gets you?
I don't know.
We do so fine throughout the show, but the one time where it's like literally bar to bar script is just what trips you up. Like you freestyle with no problem.
I literally say the same thing every week, and I've done it for almost six years. and that's where I get tripped up. But I think that's the problem. I get in my head, like I'm trying to like regurgitate what I've said before, because it's loosely scripted. Like I just have bullet points. I don't actually have all the words, but so it's my brain is like trying to come out of freestyle mode and go into like, all right, now now I gotta say this thing I've said hundreds of times and try to remember it. But here we go again.
Okay.
This is a part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, and the support's over there, starting at just $1 a month. That's right. $1 each and every month gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, exclusive access to Super Later Boys over on Patreon, early season of the Super Gamer Book Club, the whole catalog of shows and all of our shows and episodes that are ad-free versions of it. So yeah, think about supporting over there. Just $1. It helps a lot, and you get a lot of content from it if you've missed a lot of our backlog. You can also support us at $5 a month. Get that previous perk as well as the show notes each and every week, so you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. See the questions or the news stories, what we've been playing. And feel free to leave your own answers to the questions, your own thoughts on the news stories, or what you've been playing. Or you can comment on what we have on there. If you can, if you're like interested in a game we played and you want to know a specific, you have a specific question about our playthrough, go ahead and drop that on there. It's all over there. So yeah, check that out. If you want to see our show notes, $5 a month. That's all it is. Not that bad. Less than a Starbucks coffee. And you can help support us and get all the early and ad-free episodes and the show notes. Pretty good deal. $10 a month. You can support us there and get the previous perks, plus a big old shout out to top of each and every episode. If you love what we do and want to hear us read your name off, well, here's your chance. $10 a month, and you get the early ad-free episodes, you get the show notes, and you get the shout out. We love our sponsors there. We call them our Super Gamer sponsors. We appreciate them. They're incredible people, and I would love to see you over there as well. Then there's the top dog tier, Patreon producer, $15 a month. If you love what we do, want to help us keep making cool stuff, and want to even have maybe a little be on the inside circle, the inner circle here of Super Gamer Boys, support us at $15 a month. You get all the previous perks I've mentioned, as well as the ability to pitch us a show segment. If you have an idea where you're like, maybe it'd be fun if you guys did this during an episode, or can you do a spin-off series on TikTok or Instagram doing this, or whatever it might be. Think about pitching that segment, throwing the idea our way. We'd love to hear it. I think pretty much every idea we've had thrown at us, we've given it a try, and it's been a blast along the way. Some don't survive very long, but you know what? It's been fun nonetheless. So think about supporting us over there. If you have some fun ideas you think could add some spice to the show or to some of our other content, and we'll think about it, look into it, and who knows, maybe your segment could be featured here next on the show. Next, you can support us over at sgbstore.com. You can support us there by purchasing some merch. sgbstore.com is where you can buy our sweet merch collection. We have sweatshirts and hoodies and coffee cups. Our summer collection is still up, so you can get some. It's a little chilly now, most places in the world, but or at least in the U.S. But you could get some swim shorts, I guess, if you really want to. Get a nice sun hat. Go get your glass. Put your iced tea in as you sit out in the frigid fall morning. Have some ice cold iced tea out of our glasses. But no, we got lots of fun merch over there that it was really fun to design for you folks. So if you like some of it, check it out. Order some up. I always forget to mention, that's also another perk of Patreon, is there's a discount code I gave out a while back. So I think you get like 5% off or something like that. So if you want money off merch, check out Patreon as well. I think all the levels have access to that. So go check that out. Last but not least, you can support us over on Twitch. If you are watching live on Monday nights, have I got just the thing for you? But even if you're not, you can always go back later. Twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys. Make sure to follow us. It's free to follow. And then you'll know exactly when we're going live as long as you have those notifications on. But over on Twitch, you can also subscribe to our channel. Now, typically it costs about $6, I think $5.99 to subscribe. They've upped the price. It used to be $5. But there's a free way where you could get a $6 subscription for free. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, get a free Prime Gaming sub that you can use each and every month. Cost you $0. We still get the standard amount as far as I understand, as if you subscribed as usual. So it doesn't cost you anything. Amazon basically pays for your subscription for you. That way it helps support the channel, and you get all the perks of subscribing, which is access to our emotes, ad-free viewing, and obviously ultimately helping our channel grow. So thank you so much to all you folks who support us in all those ways, whether it's on Patreon, it's buying some merch, or subscribing on Twitch. Appreciate you. But with that, let's get back to the show. All right, Adrian.
Yes, sir.
It's now time for me to ask you a very, very important question.
Did you forget what it was for a second?
No,
I think so.
Distracted. I was distracted by something on my desk. A very, very important question. No, my brain, it's dying.
We're almost there, brother. We're almost there. Hang on. This is the last segment.
I killed off too many brain cells last week. They'll never come back.
Yeah.
I'm a stupider man for it. What you playing, Adrian?
Well, Pocket Poppy is back in full effect. Not just analog pocket. I mean, like pocket size portable gaming is where it's at for me, where it's been at for the last week or so. Been switching back and forth on my analog pocket between some Link's Awakening and some Dragon Quest. Ooh. I have the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 Game Boy version. I guess technically like remake or whatever that they did for 1 and 2 of Dragon Quest on Game Boy. And I've been playing them, on the go, but then I'll come home and I'll dock it, and it still looks so nice and crispy. What a great investment Analog Pocket was. I can't get enough of it. And then switching back from that, been playing a little Vita. I've been playing a little Fez, actually. Never finished Fez, believe it or not. I really liked what I played of it, but it was just some years ago, and I don't know why, but I'm having a good time with it. And the soundtrack is phenomenal. And it really is unfortunate that, Phil Fish, who made Fez, ended up leaving game development because he had something special, and I wish that they would have gone through with the second one when it was still in development. But, hey, we got the first one. It's a part of gaming history, and I'm having a great time with it so far. So that's what I've been playing this week.
Awesome. That's legit. That's awesome. I don't know. It's so fun hearing your little updates, especially when it's like these handheld gamings, because so many of these games are either games I've never played before or I just haven't touched in so long, So it's always fun to hear like, okay, people are still playing these. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like strive to build out my collection more, in the future. Start picking up some of those old like Game Boy games and getting a Vita and building out my PSP collection, because I have a PSP, but it's like, I want to get more PSP. Vita, I've never owned a Vita. One day I would just love to hold a Vita. I've never even like held one before. Again, that's one of those consoles I don't even know if I've ever seen in person. So it's like, it'd be so cool.
Well, next time I see you, I'll just bring it on down. You can take a look, play some stuff on it. It's an awesome little console. It rips, dude. I don't know, I want to live in the timeline where it took off and succeeded, and I want to, you know what I mean? Sony's working on their next.
Yeah.
handheld, or it should already be out by now, right? Because what it was 2012 that Vita came out. So the new one would have just come out maybe like a couple years ago if they stayed on that same kind of schedule. Because it would have been around 10 years. Yeah. So we'd have been, a good way into the new one's life at this point. But we didn't get that timeline, unfortunately.
We did. We got the PlayStation Portal. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes, of course. My bad. I'm sorry. Silly me. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. My question to you, my good man, and I feel like I know the answer and I'm insanely jealous about it, is what have you been playing?
I've been playing Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake.
Oh, baby. Tell me all about it.
Oh, I will. I'll tell you all about it. It is, I'm not super far into it. I'm bringing up Steam right now because I want to see exactly. It says I'm about 2.6 hours into it. I don't feel like I'm that far, but I mean, it is a massive RPG. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm not
40 hours.
I'm not very far. Really? Just 40 hours?
The older ones, they get longer as the series goes on. 1 through 3 is about 28 to 30 or 28 to 40 hours. 5 through 7 are about 40 to 50, and then 8 and up are like 50 to 70.
Okay. But yeah, about 2.6 hours in, and let me tell you, I am absolutely loving my time with it so far. This is my very first Dragon Quest game. Never played Dragon Quest in my life.
I love to hear it.
So I've never played the originals. I've never played the more modern ones, anything. Like it's
welcome, brother. Welcome. Come on in.
Series I've heard a lot about, and it's just been daunting because there's so many of them. And I think it's what confuses me is because there's obviously there's a lot of them in the series. Because what's the newer one on Switch? Like Dragon Quest
11,
10, isn't it? 11.
11 is the newest one. Yeah.
So there's 11 games in the mainline series. Plus there's I always get confused. I'm like, wait, they're not. And then there's also Dragon Quest Builders, and there's Dragon Quest this.
Monsters.
There's all this other stuff. And so to me, it's just this franchise is I just need to step back. I'm not going to touch it. But when they announced Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, first of all, as soon as I saw the art style, the HD 2D art style, I talk
undefeated.
About this. I talk about this nonstop on the podcast, but it's hard for me to resist playing a game that has that art style, even if it's just the demo, Octopath Traveler. I never got around to picking up the full game, but I played the demo, loved it. It's so gorgeous. Live Alive, absolutely
also
gorgeous.
Rules.
Octopath Traveler 2. There's a bunch of games that have come out that have that art style and are just so gorgeous, so fun to play. And so this one, I was finally all right, so I've played all these demos and I've dabbled in these other games. I need to just bite the bullet and get into it because I love the art style and I like the idea of this RPG, and I think you had mentioned it too. Dragon Quest 3 kind of being first chronologically.
Right.
In a sense,
3 is technically 1. It's the first game it's not the first game in the series, but it's the first game chronologically in the series. So you could technically go 3 and then play everything after it, and you'd still be in the correct order. Only thing is, and I think that's where a lot of people get hung up is they don't usually connect. It's just this trilogy that has faint threads that go through it. So 1, 2, and 3 kind of have that.
Right. Okay.
Everything else after that is kind of more anthology based, like Final Fantasy. Okay. But these 3 are the ones that have the little, and it's like loosely. The faintest thread too. Yeah.
So when you mentioned that, you're 3 is kind of the beginning, and then they also announced that 1 and 2 are coming.
1 and 2 are coming too.
I was just this is my opportunity. If there's no time like the present, I feel because it's all right, let's jump into 3, let's jump, and then 1 and 2 next year. And then if these games really get their hooks in me, then at that point, the rest of the franchise is just open for the taking. I might be down a rabbit hole. We'll see. I'm about 2.5 hours in. I'm at the point where I'm technically out of a tutorial, but it's very obvious, like, oh, they've taken the guardrails off, but I'm still very much in the tutorial, even though they're kind of let me do whatever. That's what's surprising.
Right.
That's what surprised me the most. They're like, okay, go here and do this, and that's one of like the cool accessibility features added is, or maybe it's in the original, but they make it seem like it's like a new feature. Is you can actually have like objective markers on the map, so it actually like circles and gives you arrows, and like when you hit this, the pause menu, like it'll show like objectives on the side, so like makes it super simple and easy for me, because that's some of the things with those older RPGs. Like when I played like Chrono Trigger, there's so many times where like if I went too long without playing it or something, or wasn't paying attention, I was just like, now,
be like, what was I doing? Where was I going?
Because there's not at least not that I remember, or if there was, I totally missed it. Like there wasn't necessarily like a in-depth like quest log in that game. It's just kind of like
not for Chrono Trigger, no.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, all right, you just got to know what you're doing. Where I really appreciated like this. It's just like, okay, yep, it's gonna be very clear what exactly I need to be doing.
That's also quality of life and new for 3, by the way. The old one did not have.
That's what I assumed.
Did not have that.
They made it seem like it was a new feature, but I wasn't sure, not having
There are a lot of quality of life ones in the new 3 remake, which is also why I'm glad that you're playing this one instead of the original. So
and then like when all of a sudden I finally leave the town for the first time, like the opening town, and it goes to like the overworld, and I was just immediately so overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, they're letting me just go anywhere. Like I could just explore the whole map right now if I wanted to. Like,
you'll die, but you can.
They want me to go here, but it's like I can go anywhere. I didn't. I mean, I explored a little bit, but I kind of stayed within the general path where they are taking me through. But yeah, I don't know. This is very, very neat. So I've done kind of like the first like mission of anyone who's played it before. They have you go get like the thief's key. So like I've kind of just finished that up and finished raiding the castle, because there was like a bunch of doors that needed the thief's key in the castle, the king's castle, to like get some stuff. And now I'm about to head back out, and I don't even remember what I'm going to do now, but very fun. I'm enjoying the combat. I like the flexibility in the combat as well, where, and again, I have no experience with Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest basically is, it's the, I don't mean this as a detriment at all. Like it is the RPG-iest RPG of everyone, of all of them. Okay. It's basically the blueprint for even your favorite RPG developer, or game maker or publisher or whatever. If you make an RPG these days, in some form or fashion, the DNA of Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy is somewhere in there. Even if it's just something as simple as you taking turns, you know what I mean, to get your stuff together, or having stats to boost or anything like that, you owe that to Final Fantasy or to Dragon Quest, one of the two, because everything kind of sprawls out from there. So people like to say, oh, it's old fashioned, which when you look at the current state of RPGs, it is more of the classical style of RPG, but somebody's got to do it, right? Like people need to know that this is a style of RPG. This is the RPG style. Everybody else went and made their own branch off of it, but you can trace all of them back right here. Yeah. With combat, like some other things that I assume again are quality of life is like they they allow you to change like the speed of the battles. It's like there's like ultra fast or like normal. That's
like
new.
There's like 3 or 4 different speeds you can choose from. So just like normal to like fast, very fast, ultra fast, or whatever. So you can just like speed through a battle real quick, which is nice. This isn't a new feature. I assume this was in the original one, but it's just a cool game mechanic that I don't remember really playing in any other game I've played. But I thought was cool, where like your battle buddies, like you're not just given. So many RPGs you play, it's like you'll get companions, but it's like part of the story and you get to know them and really connect with them. I just feel like this game, it's so interesting, at least initially, how it's just like, all right, go to this hut and hire whatever 3 random people you want to hire. And like, there's not much, at least at this point, no character growth, no connection, no nothing. Like, they're literally just like swords for hire, you know, kind of thing. There's like, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And then on top of that, they're either allowed to fight freely, you can just let them like, hey, whatever you want to do it. Right. Or they have different, I forget what they call it, but there's different strategies you can choose for them. Like, I have the option, I could set it so I can pick for all of them if I want. So if I want to basically go through and pick the attacks for all 4 people in my party, I could, or the way I have mine set right now is like, I pick just for the main character, then the other 3 people do whatever they want. Or if I want to be like, I'll let them choose, but I want to give them direction, I can be like, oh, play more offensively, defensively, magic, physical, like whatever. Like, that's just so cool that that's even an option. Like, they really let you do whatever you want with those other 3 random people, which is so cool.
All that traces back, like, just like I was saying, you know, and you can find the variations, right? Like letting your party all attack, or you letting you control each member in your party. That's Persona 4 Golden right there. You know what I mean? You can trace that back right here. Having changing the strategies for your party members to do one thing versus the other. It's another Square Enix game, but that was Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, you can have your party members to heal you more or not to be more defensive. That all traces back. I'm telling you, it is quite literally the RPG blueprint, and it doesn't get out here anyway. In Japan, it's highly revered, but Dragon Quest does not get the credit it deserves for influencing as many games as it does. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. I'm enjoying it. But from the art style to the gameplay so far, the story got me a little hooked, but I feel like I haven't gotten enough of it to really
keep going,
get super in. But the idea is like, your father was a great warrior, and
my father,
your father was a great warrior who died in battle trying to track down an archdemon. And now you're of age to go off and be an adventurer and kind of follow in his footsteps and, you know, in a sense, like hopefully avenge his death, and also save the world. So,
you know, on the side, on the way there.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, it's kind of a neat story, but I'm like, okay, we'll see how, it's hard to not play this and for me to immediately kind of, because like Chrono Trigger was a surprisingly emotional story. I'm hoping I can get some of that out of this. I don't know if I will or not, but I kind of hope I do. I hope there's a little bit of like, you know, some more emotional storytelling within it. It's not just purely like, we're going to go fight things, you know? So I assume there's going to be some of that, but I think
I don't want to ruin it for you.
I think, no, I'm not saying to spoil it, but I think that the reason my mind immediately goes that way is just because it is like, all right, I mean, even though it looks incredible, it still feels like a Chrono Trigger game because it is basically, you know, as far as the time period it was from and stuff, and like the art style, like the original art style and the gameplay style, like all this stuff. It's like, okay. So yeah, we'll see what the story has in store, but so far I'm enjoying it.
Good, man. Update. Keep me posted. I'd love to hear about this.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this week. I just want to say thank you all so much for those of you who are watching or listening here. Appreciate you all for the support. Carrie, I see you there. I saw you there when she wrote in. She's like, I'm late, but I'm here. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Of course.
So if you want to catch us live Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, we go live at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys and youtube.com/supergamerboys. So you can watch us live, record these episodes. But if you happen to miss it, that's all right, because we release it right afterwards. You know, I try to get it out before midnight. Episode edited and uploaded over to our Patreon. You can support us over there at patreon.com/supergamerboys for just $1. Get episodes early and ad-free. We have some other tiers as well that get you other perks, but if you're just looking for the episodes, there you go. $1 a month, you get these episodes early and ad-free right after the show for you guys to watch or listen to at your convenience with no ads. And then later, make sure to catch us on your favorite podcast app or over at youtube.com/supergamerboys, where we release the full episode. And even on YouTube, you can get just the news story. So if you're like, all right, I don't need all the other random crap they talk about, I just want the news, I want to hear what they said about this, that, or the other thing, check out YouTube. We put out those SGB clips. One comes out at noon on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday they come out at 6:15 a.m. So every day for the rest of once the episode comes out, for the rest of the week there, you got some content for you. So go check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's free, and you can keep up with all of our content we put out. Remember, you can support us also. If you're not supporting us at patreon.com/supergamerboys, you can also support us at sgbstore.com, where you can buy some merch. And as I mentioned this during the ad, but if you support us on Patreon, there's a code I put out back when Summer Gamer Boys, the collection came out, to get 5% off. So don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know how many people even saw that, but you should go check it out.
Sorry, the DualSense 30th anniversary just went up on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The ones that sold out from
yeah,
PlayStation?
I don't know why. I don't know how.
No way. Get it. You got to get it.
I'm trying. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Carrie says she's waiting for a Super Gamer Boys Christmas sweater. Oh, boy.
Can we do that on our merch store?
I don't know. That would be pretty sick, though, honestly.
Maybe like a crew neck we can design like a sweater?
Like one of those those t-shirts that look like a Christmas sweater, or like a long sleeve. Might need to look into that. Might need to look into it. Especially since I dropped the ball big time on our Halloween collection. Yikes. It's been a couple months. It's been busy. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Make sure to go show them some love. They're over on Apple Music and Spotify. Links should be in the show description. If you're watching over on YouTube and podcasts, just check out the description, click the links, add them to your playlist, show them some love. And during the week, you can find us over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere on the internet at Homeboy. That's HOLMBOI.
All right. Well, that's all I got for the show. Adrian, do you mind taking us out?
Not a problem. Folks, thanks for hanging out with us for another episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. We appreciate any and all forms of support, whether that's watching the show here with us live, catching the VODs, just listening to the audio, buying the merch, however, telling a friend, however you do it, it's all appreciated because it helps us to keep the lights on and to continue to do what we love to do, which is goof off and maybe talk about a video game here or there. Stay with us. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
It's in the cart. Here we go.
Get it. Get it.